can execute them, you can perform select operations on them. So essentially, we can also create a new function as we did, basically create function, blah, blah, blah. Or we can also drop an existing function from our list of tables or list of functions using drop function and then function name, right? Okay. If you are creating multiple functions, and let's say that if you already have a function with a particular name, SQL will not override functions on its own. You would need to first drop the old function and then create a new function before you are able to use it. Just remember. And there is no concept of overloading and things like that. Don't even go there. Okay, so as we said, functions are quite useful, and we will talk about more usefulness about functions when we delve into things called triggers and cursors and things like that. But essentially, and triggers are a very, very powerful component for SQL. We'll talk about that in a lot of detail later. But essentially, functions are basically components that must always return a value. All arguments for a functions are input only, and you can have 0 arguments if you want. Um, but a function is not allowed to modify tables. On the other hand, we have something called procedures. Procedures do not return anything. However, they can be used to modify tables. But since procedures do not return anything, that also means that procedures cannot be used in a select clause. And I have an example for that a bit later. But that also means that procedures cannot be used in a select clause. But the fact is that procedures can be used to modify tables. But since they do not return anything, we also need to have separate parameters, and procedures allow you to have parameters that can be updated, sort of like a C++ reference or a C++ pointer sort of thing. So procedures do allow you to modify certain parameters so that you get the result back from a procedure. But remember that they do not return anything. Okay, so similar to a function, a procedure can be written like this. So for functions, we have create function. For procedures, we have create procedure. Let's say that we have a procedure that creates the account summary. So create procedure account summary, and we say that it takes in 3 parameters. 2 of those are out parameters and 1 is an in parameter. So an in parameter is something that your procedure expects as input when it is being called. An out parameter is something that is a procedure, that is what a procedure would update. Right. So here we have 2 out parameters, that is a count of type integer and total balance of numeric 12,2. Again, using the same scenario that we talked about in terms of functions, that was find me the number of accounts and the total balance for that customer, right? So count star sum balance into a count and total balance from depositor and account, where customer name equals to customer name. By default, we have in parameters. In parameters are parameters that you provide when you call this. Out parameters are parameters that are being updated within the procedure. So here we are updating a count and total balance, and we want that result back once we get out of that procedure. So that is why these are out parameters. We can also have in out parameters. So those are parameters that can be used for both input and output, right? But by default, if you do not provide a parameter type, it is in. Okay, any questions about this? Note that we do not have a return type here because it's a procedure. Any questions? Okay. So in this scenario, note that it is computing number of accounts and the total balance, and then computes them and sort of returns them by updating these 2 parameters, a count and total balance. Can we do the same thing using a function? Yes or no? Can we return both the number of accounts and the total balance for a customer using a function? No. Any other answers? Let's take a vote. I want everyone to answer. Yes or no? Or can we do the same thing using functions as we do here? We are not, yes, you are correct. Functions are not allowed to edit tables, but here we are not editing any table, right? We are just performing a select operation. We are not inserting into anything. We are not updating anything. So it is not that. Right, exactly. You guys are correct. So essentially, functions have to can return only one thing. And here we are returning two things. So that is why we can't use a function to do the same thing. Although we did have an example that for a function that did the same thing, that is with multiple variables, we did account and total balance. But at the end of the day, we have to return one of those things. Right? Okay. So remember that a function, let me quickly go back to a function. So remember this particular function earlier that counted the number of accounts that a customer has. Basically, customer name was the parameter, and we said select count star into a count, blah, blah, blah. Right. This basically returned a value. And since this returned a value, this we were able to use it using a select statement. So select account count of the name Johnson, right? And that gave us the answer because select basically prints out whatever was returned by this particular function. But remember that a procedure does not return anything. And that also means that we cannot use the select statement when we are talking about procedures, right? So in that scenario, when we are working with procedures, we need to use a statement like call. So call account summary, blah, blah, blah. And that is how we call a particular procedure, not using a select statement, but a call statement. So call account summary with the customer name being the in parameter, J count and J total being the out parameters, right? And once we call this particular procedure, then we know that J count and J total would have the total number of accounts and the total balance for Johnson. And then we can perform select J count comma J total to get the values here. Okay. Here we also have this at operator before our variable names. That just means that this is a sessional temporary variable. We can remove the at operator, but that would create a separate table for us. But essentially, at means that this is a temporary session variable. Okay. We also have conditional operations. So essentially conditional operations, we are all familiar with those. Essentially if else conditions. So if this, then do that. Else if this, then do this. Else this, which is the default case, then end if. So that is the syntax for writing conditional operations in SQL. They are quite powerful, as you know, with all branch operations in any programming language. And again, else if and else are optional, right? Those are something that can be written or can be done with. Okay. We also have looping constructs. So for example, here we have a while loop. So we can write loops where we want to iterate over things. We will talk more about this when we talk about cursors, but essentially we have the ability to write a while loop that is declare n integer default 0. So create an integer type called n with the default value of 0, and while n less than 10 perform n equals to n plus 1. Just keep on end while. We also have something that is a repeat loop, that is repeat set n equals to n minus 1 until n equals to 0 and repeat. So here we see there are two possible loops. One is while n less than 10, do this. Then we have this repeat loop that is repeat this until this condition is not met, right? So can we say, so this can be thought of like a while loop, right? So this is sort of like a while loop in your C++ courses. You might have come across a while loop like this. Can someone tell me what type of loop would this be? Like this is like a bottom checking loop that checks for the condition after it executes the body. So it for a while loop, this one basically check the condition first and then perform the operation. But for this one, we are first performing this operation, then checking the condition and then going back. Exactly. So this repeat loop is essentially the code for a do while loop, essentially. Very good. Okay. Okay. Any questions? So we talked about, I know that I just revisited all of the things that we talked about last time. But essentially, any questions about loops, if conditions, procedures, and functions? We talked about these things. And I think I'm going to wrap up now. And next class, I'm going to talk about cursors. Cursors are pretty interesting and pretty nifty features, but yes, pretty nifty features, but I would like to start it afresh. One thing that you need to remember when you are writing functions, and let me bring up Book 3 real quick. Um, so let me just stop sharing. No, I need